Hello, this is Haberman, back with another episode of Have, Bag, and Tag. Today I have with me Bag.
Now, making his way to the ring, weighing in at a combined weight of 420 pounds, Baghead!
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be
Kennedy!
What?
How long is this going to go on for?
Take it back and put it on your head. Life is so much better way. I'm gonna record the podcast cause I know that I can. How many views will we get?
Is this the rest of the podcast?
Yeah. So I don't have an in-ring catchphrase. Sorry.
What were the ones from the Hulk Hogan Wrestling Connect game, Quick Look? What were the one that Jeff Gerstmann improvised on the spot?
I'm gonna make love to him from the back.
There you go.
Alright, good, got it.
And I also have with us Tag, who is back in town.
Well, hello there. Also don't have an entrance theme for Tag.
Fuck.
Well, now we're just...
Is there one for me?
I might do. Let me see. No.
No, great.
Nope.
Great.
The
Nothing.
soundboard's empty.
Fuck! God damn it! Oh, shit. So we're all here, gang's all here. We're here to talk about more games, more channel stuff, more gaming news. Do we have any introduction stuff we want to talk about? Any news we want to discuss before we get into the stuff we usually talk about?
I want to talk
life
about
updates?
Sum 41.
Sum 41. You know what? Let's talk about some Sum 41.
Because earlier on I looked them up for some reason. I can't remember why. And you mentioned about the filtering stuff they were doing on their vocals back in the day.
I only mention that because no more than a week or two ago myself, I also looked up Sum 41 for some reason, and I discovered that every vocal track on every one of their albums, besides maybe the first one or two, is filtered to fucking hell and back.
What it is, I don't know the name of it, but like what most of it seems to be is it's an effect that the Beatles invented where it doubles the vocals so they don't have to record backing vocals. Like that's what a lot of it is.
A lot of it is also tweaking because the lead singer, Chester, maybe? I could be completely wrong, is fucking terrible.
They seemed okay live.
You saw one video of them live. Me and
No,
a friend,
I after I watched some more.
I watched a few, and they were pretty fucking lousy, even for like punk vocals. Like punk vocals, not known for being great. Never have been. Yeah. Probably never.
I don't know what year I was looking up though. Their earlier stuff, they're definitely not as good.
Hey, look. All I know is I could have just kept watching, and I could have like figured out what dates they all had posted. But look, I don't want to waste my time become another casualty of your society.
Oh no.
I don't want to fall in line.
Become
another victim of your conformity.
Oh. Also, was listening to some old Offspring, and man, he was terrible at singing early on. Just no talent whatsoever. Like, you thought like the live stuff of Sum 41 was bad. Like, yeah, he just yelled all of it.
That sounds about right.
So what I'm getting from the Wikipedia article is that they're Canadian tweakers, also troublemakers, and
twerkers as well.
Oh my.
Tweaking and twerking.
And their associated acts are ludicrous, apparently.
What?
And Avril Lavigne.
Oh yeah, no, well that makes sense because the lead singer was at one point dating her and recorded like half an album with her or something.
Christ.
The guitarist, he was a good singer though.
Was he?
Yeah, but he liked metal and stuff. I think he broke off and made a metal band at some point.
He did. He absolutely did. You're absolutely right. Because we also looked into that, me and my friends, and it's not great either.
I think probably like once or twice a week, everyone checks in with Sum 41 just to see what's going on.
Yeah, it's sort of obligatory at this point. We've all loved Sum 41 at some point. Everyone, right?
Man, their bassist so wants to be in like a punk band from the 70s in England that I've forgotten the name of.
Sex Pistols?
Yes, that's it. Oh, if you said, "Hey, there's a JoJo's character who has a pistol," then I would have said Sex Pistols is his stand and would have got it straight away. But
That would require making another JoJo's reference,
gotta.
which people didn't like when I shouted into the microphone last episode, making a JoJo's reference.
Oh,
You should shout in the microphone more often.
Okay, if you say so.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
fucking nerd.
You know, speaking of musical tastes, I'm sort of like I'm the metal expert among us, right?
Yeah.
Am I also the punk rock expert among us?
It depends. It depends on what era of punk rock, though.
Because I barely know any punk rock, but then I talk to you guys, and you barely know
I
any
really
punk
like
rock.
punk. I just don't know it. I
Yeah.
kind of don't like 70s punk. I actually kind of really hate old punk.
I don't know. I don't remember when Dead Kennedys started up, but like anything from them forward, you know,
What's the
Kennedy's
one
Descendants,
song
anything
about
like-
Margaret Thatcher?
I could tell you stuff about like
that
The
would
Offspring.
be
That's a Sex Pistols.
Police Truck. Police
Oh.
Truck is about Margaret Thatcher,
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of the
Oh.
Queen song.
who, by the way, they did not like Margaret Thatcher. They had some issues, some disagreements with Margaret Thatcher.
Yes, yeah, some people weren't fans of hers. I never met her, so I can't say. I don't know. I'm a good judge of character. Oh well. Oh yeah, someone got that reference. I hope.
You know, you made a reference that I didn't get. What was it? What video was it where you made a reference? I think it was the pizza delivery video where you made some sort of reference to something. And
I
even
made-
in the commentary, I'm like, I don't know what you're referencing.
I made
And you said that's a joke for
multiple-
3 people. And
I
then
made
people in the comments got the joke, which I'm happy about. I'm happy
I
I
don't
left
know.
it in.
I made multiple allusions to porn in that video.
Well, yes, I got that. I kept on
Yeah.
trying to not acknowledge it. I was trying to ignore the fact you were doing that because I thought it was really passé.
But
And I was like-
the plot was leaning into it, not me.
Yeah, if you insist. The plot where
Whatever.
like a little girl,
Leave the
like,
pizza downstairs, come upstairs. Like,
it's a trip machine
Come on,
joke.
it's obvious.
You made a trip machine joke. I do not know what trip machine is.
oh, okay, yeah, I do.
Okay, that makes one of us then, unless Tag would like to chime in right now.
If you like Japanese arcade games,
You don't know. I don't.
no.
Well, that answers
Sorry.
that. You made a joke you joked about making a joke for 3 people, and out of the people who commented on that video, 2 people got that joke.
And I
then
got
there's
it,
you.
so yeah.
So you nailed it. You
Perfecto.
done did it.
I done did it.
So, without further ado, let's get into what we have been playing.
Alright, I am backstage at the Dinner Dates podcast with Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man, what do you think of video games?
So, you want to talk about Pac-Man, huh? 'Cause I am Pac-Man. Ooh, yeah, Pac-Man Randy Savage. And I'm gonna eat all the ghosts after finishing my pellets. Hulk Hogan. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna destroy you at SummerSlam. I'm not talking!
I practiced that impression for 9 months.
Paid off.
Thank
It sure
God.
did.
Thank God, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
It really shows.
It does, yeah.
A lot of fucking games came out this month.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a fucking ton of games came out this month. Too many games came out this month, man.
go take it.
Oh, 2 minutes. Should we just skip it then?
Yeah,
of them.
let's skip it. Let's not talk
Yeah.
about any games. You know, too many cooks spoil the pot, too many games spoil the discussion, so we're just gonna... No, we're gonna talk about these. Does anyone want to go first? Because I feel like I'm gonna go the longest, and I don't want to front load this.
Okay, Tag, you go first.
So while I
Executive decision.
while I was out of town, I played The Last of Us on a friend's PS3, and it was probably the best game I fucking played. It was really good.
Just ever?
Yeah, no,
just
not
ever?
ever. That would be Pajama Sam.
Blast from the past.
Yeah,
Are you sure you're
man.
not a putt-putt guy?
Isn't that like a gay term or something?
Well, the car was purple,
Oh,
and
there you go.
so
Yeah.
don't
infer
even-
from that what you will.
Don't even get me
Because
started on Freddy Fish. That guy can go get fucked for all I care about.
We'll talk about another fish later on who can go get fucked. But yeah. So Last of Us.
So Last
what do you
of
like
Us,
about?
I stomped a lot of zombies in the face and strangled them and shot people. You know, that's what that game is all about, right? It's a
Yeah, it's
pure.
a very combat centric game.
Yeah.
Like lots of Resident Evil 4 inspiration is what I've gathered.
Yeah. Everyone's speaking Spanish for some reason.
More Dead Aim.
More Dead
Now that you
Island.
mention it. Yeah. So you're enjoying that? We talked about this last.
Well,
episode, by
I
the way.
finished it, so I enjoyed it. And I don't have a
Did-
PS3, so I can't play it anymore.
Ha.
So
It's a good thing you
Owned.
finished it in the one sitting, then I guess.
yeah,
Or however
one
many
sitting. That's
sittings.
exactly what I did.
Or however many sittings in the time allotted to you.
The funny thing is that that's probably the longest game I've ever played. It was like 20 hours.
It's 20 hours long.
At least
Maybe.
my playthrough was like 20 hours.
It-
How
yeah,
much mileage did you get out of it, Bag?
maybe a little less than that, like maybe 16, but I could see 20 easily.
Oh yeah, I was playing it a lot less. I don't know. But everything about it is like super polished, you know, and
Yeah.
shows how Naughty Dog basically, you know, has the PS3 nailed down
Yeah,
because no one else wants to develop for it because of the cell processor.
fair enough. Yeah, no, like I said, I enjoyed it. Would you agree it's kind of like almost a survival horror game or not? Would you say I'm an asshole?
I wouldn't say so because there were a lot of spots where I had tons of ammo and
Yeah.
utilities. I mean, if you
Like there's a
if you're-
middle part of that game where you kind of have like 5 shotguns.
Yeah. I don't know, you have
Um,
like the holsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if you don't play very well, then you probably would be low on ammo. But I was pretty good at shooting zombies and
Yeah. No,
doing
it, like
stealth.
the difficulty curve to me was kind of like it had a big bump and then right near the end it got kind of hard again.
Well, yeah. Well, at the end, like kind of the end of the level where where you're dealing in the subway or whatever it is, where there's a
Yeah,
whole bunch
yeah,
of the
that-
bloaters
yeah.
or whatever called. Like that's just ridiculous. At the
That
end,
is.
you can't do that in combat unless you have like unless you like want to spend 30 minutes
no-
or something.
Yeah, no, I somehow like snuck past like almost everyone there. It was
I
crazy.
did. Me too. I killed some too, but it was just it's a bitch. It would be nice to go back and play because there is a new game plus, and I fucking love games with new game pluses.
Do you
Yeah.
have the alternate costumes where what's the girl's name? Is she
Ellie,
dressed like Jill from Resident Evil 3?
I did not invest
Oh,
in that.
is
No,
there?
sorry.
Ah.
Well, that's what I think of when I think of new game pluses. I just think of Resident Evil.
There is
stupid alternate
costumes. There are costumes, but there's a currency. I don't know how you get the money at all.
It's from
They-
challenges.
Is it? Oh, okay. Because they don't really say. It's just like, hey, you have like $500. I'm like, oh, okay.
But yeah, because it's a Naughty Dog game, you can buy alternate costumes for Ellie, where she wears a Jack and Daxter T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's
Or,
fucking yeah, sure. That's not what I need in my game.
I
you
think there's some
sure?
more in-centric stuff because Uncharted used to have like
That's
donut.
dumb. I feel like that would like totally ruin my immersion.
My
To
immersion.
be fair, most alternate costumes do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think at that point you're doing New Game Plus, so you probably
Yeah,
don't
but
care.
still, I don't know. I don't know. It's always felt
Like
dumb to me.
there was alternative costumes in Metal Gear Rising, and yeah, just having Raiden running around in a suit was great.
I think it's the best game to have the best cover system I've seen in a game, where it's not like where you just lock into place and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there's not a button for it. You just kind of
Well, when you crouch,
Use
you'll
cover.
just when you
Yeah.
when you crouch, you'll kind of like go up against walls. It's kind of like it reminds me of Call of Juarez, where they had the guns would move out of the way or something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
a fucking comparison.
I was gonna say Saboteur because Saboteur totally had that. Only
It
never
does.
played
Saboteur also does that.
yeah,
Yes. So, Last of Us, good game is what I'm hearing. I
yeah.
should probably play it. I should
Yeah,
probably.
considering you have a PS3.
I actually moved my PS3 back downstairs next to my computers for a while. I mean, this thing is my Blu-ray Netflix machine. That's what it
Yeah.
is. That's
it
the
does
role
that. It
fills.
does that pretty good.
And but I want to get back into trying to play games on it again. So I moved downstairs close to my computer, so I can just lean over and look at it right now and think about using it, then decide against it 5 seconds later. So
I will say,
but-
at least I say the PS3 is probably a lot better console than the Xbox is, because I was liking a lot better than the Xbox that I have. Maybe that's just because I'm not used to it.
I do not want to fuck around with an Xbox. Like, I just don't. You know what I did fuck around with though? Speaking of the PS3, real quick tangent. This doesn't even count as what I've been playing. Because I played it for like 10 minutes just to see it. A while back, for some reason, I bought Call of Duty 4 for the PS3 as a downloadable thing.
That's probably not a good idea to buy a Call of Duty game for the PS3.
Bear in mind, like a year or two ago.
Okay.
So apropos of nothing. I just like 2-3 days ago, I turned on the PS3 and I'm like, I wonder, because I was going through my list of games, like, I wonder if anyone's still playing this. Sure enough, people still playing that. I went to Quick Match and I immediately joined a full game. And then I proceeded in a room full of maximum level prestiged with only a level 1 character because I had not played this. Actually not played it. I just had it sitting around but I hadn't played it. I proceeded to win the match with the highest KDR on the server.
Oh my lord.
On Wetwork, which is my worst map, which has always been my worst map. Yeah. I don't know how to play games with a controller, mind you. Beginning the match, I needed to relearn the controls in the first minute of the match. And periodically through the match, I would still forget controls. Like, 2 out of my 6 deaths were because I forgot how to switch weapon. Which is triangle.
Yeah, wouldn't it just be triangle? Because that's what it is on
I don't know.
PS3.
I don't know what the standard is. I do not know what the standard is for consoles. I don't know.
It's basically
right.
It's basically the same as the Xbox 360 controller, but it's just the same. It's just the PS3 buttons.
I know, but I don't know that either. These aren't
don't-
things I know.
They don't develop for the PS3 as the primary platform.
But yes, I won. So I could probably just keep playing that if I wanted to, and then master the game on
It's a
another console.
great idea. That's totally.
But I won't, because that's dumb.
I prestige in Modern Warfare 3 on the 360, and I felt like a piece of shit. So don't do that.
I've never prestiged.
I prestige occasionally.
I didn't see the point. It was like, I've unlocked all the stuff and then I'm going to lose it again. I think the only reason I do that is if you kept challenge progress, but you don't, so...
Modern Warfare 2 didn't have any prestige incentives, did it? It was Black Ops was the first one to have the incentives.
Oh, you mean,
for it.
yeah, from the past games and you would unlock stuff.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, Black Ops had it so you were unlocking the extra custom character classes and some other
yeah,
stuff.
no, Modern Warfare didn't do that.
Modern Warfare 2 did not do that. Modern
Yeah, no, it
Warfare
didn't.
3 did something like that, I think. Yes, it did the same thing with custom classes. And now you can just buy custom class slots with real money in Black Ops 2 as a microtransaction.
Ah, tight!
The future is upon us.
The future is Black Ops.
It's like play for free, only you pay for pay
You pay for
pay for pay.
pay for pay.
So that's all the Call of Duty talk I need. I need to squeeze it in somewhere.
Are you out of Call of Duty? Are you getting tired of Call of Duty?
Yes, I am. Good question. Yes, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm sleepy.
Black Ops 2 maps, even with the season pass, just didn't do too much for me. So I just
So you're
couldn't
saying
keep
is
on
you
playing it.
have map apathy, or whatever that commercial was.
That's
for...
stupid. Yes, sure.
Just waiting
Okay.
for Call of Duty Ghost to
I
bring me
am.
back in.
I am. I will play Ghosts. I will enjoy Ghosts. I'm liking everything that is going on. I'm liking all the stuff they're revealing. Dynamic maps seem pretty cool.
Just like Left 4 Dead.
Customization seems pretty depthful. I like it. It looks good. I will play that. That'll probably... If the maps are any good, then I'll stay interested for a long time, hopefully.
It's the multiplayer. In multiplayer, does everyone have a dog?
I don't know if they've revealed that yet.
That's because if that
What
would
if
get me back in.
What about the multiplayer mode where everyone is a dog?
What about if
Oh,
multiplayer was
shit.
dog fighting? Was just dog fighting, and you placed bets on which dog would win?
Is that the Michael Vick one? What?
That's the new Madden game.
Call of Duty Ghosts, executive produced by Michael Vick.
Hey, Jay-Z, if Jay-Z can make a basketball game, Michael Vick can make a first-person shooter.
He made it.
Why
Jay-Z made it himself.
They're just all ripping off Mark Echo though.
not? Mark Echo can make a graffiti game.
And Mark Echo is ripping off. Who is that guy who does all this shitty? What is it?
Yes.
Sure.
I don't even remember his name. He
What
did,
else have you been playing? Let's move the fuck on.
Okay.
You have a list in front of you. You have a
Yeah.
list in front of you, Tag. You have a literal
I'll-
list in
What?
front of you right
Should
now.
I do it?
Huh?
We have
What?
show notes open.
What? Oh, I
Quan has been playing Ridiculous Fishing.
Uh-huh.
On
Would
the
you like to tell
iPad.
us about it?
For the iPhone. It's a game where you are a fisher. And I'm going to load it up right now.
Great! I love that you came fully prepared for this.
I did. So it's an 8-bit inspired game.
Fuck
you know,
that.
$50
Move on.
iPhone.
Done. Don't want to hear it. Don't give a fuck.
Nice work.
Bag, what have you been playing? Since
Oh.
Tag just forfeited is what he's been playing for the
Yeah,
episode.
so I had grander plans for this. I don't have an audio bite, but Bag's quest for Steam trading cards happened, and I have a subcategory note, my own show note for this. But I only played 2 fins, so it didn't go very well. So, first game I played was Offspring Flynn for the personal computer or Macintosh.
I opened that game up once to get the
Has
trading
nothing
cards
to
for
do
it.
with Offspring, so if you want some more Offspring talk, just replay the beginning of the podcast.
Did you actually play the game?
Yeah, I did play it. I got
Because
one.
I opened it up to get the cards for it. And
I
then
got
close
one.
It out.
I've got one card. So I've got my notes here because it was a while ago. All the music sounds like PlayStation 1 MIDIs for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. So you remember what the Noah's Ark game, the unofficial Noah's Ark game
Super
on the NES?
3D Noah's Ark.
No, the one where he would pick up animals.
Oh, Noah's Adventure.
yeah,
Whatever.
it's
It was
kind
the
of
pack-in game.
it's like that, but a puzzle platformer, and the whole idea is that like you have to pick up the fins and throw them, and it's all like weight puzzles because it's like
Speaking of
like a
the
like
angry
a
video
slide.
game
If you've
nerd,
ever played the slider puzzle where it's like you hit the block and it slides, it's just that really, but with an art style I fucking hate.
Speaking of the angry video game nerd and art styles, I
yeah,
fucking
talk
hate.
about him.
The angry video game nerd has a new game on Steam in
He
a
does.
faux retro graphic style,
Thank
and it's filled with
God.
funny quotes about him saying the people who made this level are assholes. But it's funny because the people who made the game put that line of dialogue in,
Oh my
so it's funny.
Lord.
And
Not-
the game glitch genie pops up. Mike Matei characters, my favorite part of those videos.
I
And he's
imagine
like,
he
the
is.
game glitch genie, I'm gonna fuck your game up. And then the AVGN's like, oh, you fucker, fuck.
I gotta say, hey, that was a good Irish accent he just did there.
I'm really disappointed in you, Haberman.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
me saying fuck, by the way, about this game existing and not
sorry.
trying to do an AVGN impression. I'm just really mad that this game exists. It
Um,
costs $15.
well-
I'll buy it for you.
Well,
I'll kill you.
before I was so rudely interrupted, I hate the art style. So imagine if someone drew something and then like converted it to JPEG to try and make it look like 8-bit.
Wow.
Like that's how that game looks. Like it doesn't look like pixel art. It looks like forced pixel art. And
That's
it just looks
incredible.
Forced.
it's just messy. It's just messy. Yeah, like it looks like someone's just compressed the stuff.
That is not the way to do pixel art,
So I
by
played
the
for a
way.
while, like as a puzzle thing. Like it's a variation on the whole slider puzzle thing. It's okay. Didn't keep my attention for too long. And then the other game I played was Gratuitous Space Battles, and my notes just say
Gratuitous.
yes. My notes just say no.
Okay.
Oh.
So I don't think I liked it. I remember there not being really gameplay. Like you picked some ships and then you watched them fight, and then I didn't even get a Steam card because I closed it.
You have
So-
to keep a game. Usually, it's 2 hours that you want to keep a game open for.
Oh
Alright.
no, I
That's,
don't want to.
that's been my average. if
I
you
don't
wanna get all
even
the
want
Steam cards
to.
for it.
I don't even want to put in the effort to ignore that game. It's too much effort.
Just open it up, alt tab out of it, let Steam work its magic.
So yeah, had bigger plans for that. Only played 2 games, so sorry. Maybe
Wow.
maybe
You played-
ongoing. Maybe I'll get some more Steam cards. Maybe I won't. You
Maybe
never
you need to play the game that we've all been playing.
know. Well, I won't spoil what game you've been playing, so I played some other games. A point-and-click adventure game called The Journey Down, which is about a Jamaican petrol station worker pointing and clicking on stuff.
Is that the entire game?
Well, there's like a bigger plot. Like it's kind of one of those like, oh, this guy is not really the hero, but he just ends up having to do everything important.
Uh-huh.
I think I saw the screenshots of that game, then said, no, thank you.
No, so the art style on that's crazy. It's like based off of like totem and 8 like African masks. Like everyone, like that's just their faces, and like that's the art style. The music is real cool. If you ever played the HD versions of Monkey Island, it's kind of in that vein, and it's a super like old school style adventure game. Like no hints, like very kind of not really bad nonsensical puzzle stuff, but at certain points you are kind of just clicking stuff together. But not like
Speaking
what it is.
briefly of Monkey Island, do you know who I discovered was an insult writer for one of the Monkey Island games in 1991? Orson Scott Card,
I don't know how.
writer of Ender's Game,
Oh,
which, is very popular now, being adapted into a movie. Guy is also a piece of fucking scum. So, he's literal trash. He needs to be taken into an alley and be told these things.
Why an alleyway?
He needs a good
Because
talking to.
you want to scare him. Because you want to scare him, make him think he's going to get shot in the face.
And honestly,
like the piece of
you don't
garbage
want to do
he
it in
is,
public either. You know, because you might upset the public. You don't want to.
Yes.
So,
we
he did-
discovered that. Me and a friend discovered that just by looking at Orson Scott Card. We were discussing how much of a piece of shit he was, and we
Yeah.
looked at his IMDb page, and it said "Insult Writer" was his credit for Monkey Island.
Oh.
So
He didn't make Journey Down, so buy Journey Down. It's cool. You're Jamaican, and he says Guan. He says Guan and Tin. A lot. I can't do Jamaican accents, so I just say Guan.
great.
And then, out of curiosity, at one point on the Sony Network, they messed up and somehow gave me Saints Row 2 for free.
Interesting.
It just for some reason said free, and I was like, hey, quickly, like, just because if you just download and cancel something, then it's on your account as purchased. So I finally played that game. It's not better than free. I don't know who thinks it is. I don't know who these people are that I saw on European gaming sites telling me that
Weirdos.
Saints Row was better when it was a
Oh,
GTA clone.
It was because the Saints Row 2 has the missions where you shoot poop at stuff.
Yeah, no, that wasn't actually that fun to do. Like, it's a fun concept, but it wasn't very fun. It was like the Mayhem mode, only slower.
Postal 3 has a level where you shoot jizz rags out of a vacuum at soccer moms. Isn't that just edgy? Isn't that just fucking hilarious?
I don't know. That's kind of more PC. The fact that the semen is in the condoms. If it was just like pure, just
I suppose so. If you want to get down to the technical nitty gritty.
that game. So I was playing on PS3.
Where can I buy Postal 3 if that's what you get to do? It's a great idea.
I remember when I bought that game before it was officially on Steam, and you had to fucking send a PayPal payment to the guy running. What's the name of it? Running with Scissors.
Running with Scissors.
So and then he sent me a Steam key.
Mike
Whatever.
Jared. You're
Yeah,
like,
that's-
hey, Mike, I want to buy this game of yours. And he's
That's
like,
how
"Oh."
people had to buy that game when it first came out, and for some reason I decided to do that.
Whatever.
That was
That,
a mistake.
whatever. That guy seems cool. Though it wasn't very good. The live action stuff they filmed for the Postal 2 expansions was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Him like having like 5 phones and just throwing them all.
That live action movie they filmed was fucking.
I don't know. I
Terrible.
liked it. I don't think it's good, but I like it.
It's probably the best of the Uvable video
Oh,
game
definitely,
movies.
What is
yeah.
it?
That
What
is
is it?
not saying much at all.
What is it?
No, but I do
aren't
like
the
it.
videos in Apocalypse Weekend. Isn't that where like the CEO of Running with Scissors, Vince Desi, is like,
Yeah, it's
I need
Vince.
you to destroy the fucking pigeons, and it's like, okay.
No,
that's-
it's like a fake mission, and it just cuts to him and just saying like, "Are you fucking kidding me? We don't have the budget for that." And just like, look at the quality of this video, and it just like throws the phone across the room.
At the end of the mission or whatever, everything's like bloody and shit.
Yeah.
And feathers are coming down.
So what I'm saying is they need to make an FMV video game.
They make
What I'm saying is they need a
more.
crossover. Postal Saints Row.
No.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
But
No,
anyway, so
Saints
going back
Row
to
is
it.
not on the same level of comedy as Postal 3 is. Postal 3 is pretty shitty, so.
Yeah, so you played some Saints Row 2, though. And
So that game was on PS3. So one of the things about Saints Row 4 that came out recently is like the performance on consoles is not great. Saints Row 2 is probably worse, which is weird because it's a way older game and doesn't look as good.
It's not good
Also,
on- it wasn't good on the PC either.
yeah,
the Saints Row, that's for different reasons, though. That
does
port
have
was
VSync
botched.
options though, so that was nice.
On consoles?
Yeah,
What?
if you want to make the frame rate even worse, you can turn VSync on.
great.
And also,
But you mentioned Saints Row 4. You mentioned Saints
well,
Row 4.
one weird thing, and I want to see if anyone else remembers this. Some of the buildings in Saints Row too, they don't look small, but they look like models. Like they look like they have no detail, like they're completely flat and they're just square, and they even look like the walls are paper thin.
Yeah, sure.
Like I don't know, it's just like you drive through some sections of the town. It's like this looks like is this like Paper Mario?
Yeah,
There's moments I can see some of the moments that people find funny, and those moments like do pay off in later games. But just because of those little bits for like Johnny Gat to be serious, like oh they fucking killed my girlfriend, and like oh here's characters emotionally dying, and then you're like throwing shit like the next minute. Like it doesn't work.
It's
as well as-
hard left turns.
Yeah.
as they say.
which yeah it just doesn't work, and it really comes off as like a GTA San Andreas like clone.
So Saints Row 4,
So I just got Saints Row today because I live in Europe.
which is marketed, by the way, is the most dramatic entry in the Saints Row series.
Yeah.
So take that, Saints Row 2, you shit.
Yeah. No, I'm not very far into that game. I'm maybe like an hour, maybe a little more.
I'm a
Man.
little deeper in than you are.
Yeah.
I think I've made it to 5 or 6 hours by this point.
Yeah. I don't think I've literally laughed out loud at a video game ever. I don't know. I'm thinking back, and I had to stop.
I laughed out loud at Saints Row 3. I laughed out loud at Sam and Max. Those are the two that come to mind immediately. I laughed a fucking ton at this. This game is very funny.
Yeah.
That is its selling point.
Like, and it being like over the top, and like that's not a problem. Like you take open world so far, like you have to keep doing stuff.
At some
to it.
point, you can't do a crime game anymore. You have to make it a superhero game. That's the logical
And it's
direction that you go.
Fucking awesome! Finally, after all these years, Crackdown 2 finally released for me. It's great. And my character's the same as Saints Row 3, though I was kind of tempted. There's more hair options. Let's talk about the hair options for a minute.
I need to talk about this. I need to mention this.
Yeah, go ahead.
And let me get the name for her too, because I like to play a Russian lady. This is one of the characters I recreate in games. By the way, I gotta call back to the last episode. I gotta mention something from the last episode where I said that I like to make this one character. I like to remake her in every game I play where you can create a character. And I mentioned that she has like scars on her face, and you said burn marks, and I'm like, yes. And I said based off the character I like.
I thought we were talking about someone in particular, but you weren't.
Yeah, because the commenters also thought I was talking about like a lolly from like a fucking hentai game where you fuck like a burnt girl.
That's what I thought.
It's really fucking.
That's what
gross.
everyone
And
thought.
me too.
That's what everyone thought. No, why would you?
Haberman, we're talking about you here. All right.
I don't know why was that the first thing people thought of? It's fucking not. I should have said it was like fucking original.
That's because
but I didn't want to say the words.
That game is a cultural icon.
I did not want to say the words original character out loud, but that was the only thing that was on my brain at that moment in time. So no, it's a character I've fucking created. I'm sorry.
It's a real girl that he burnt. He created her essentially because
she's not even burnt, but that's beside the point. The point is that she's Russian, that she is Russian in the story I'm writing for her. So when Saints Row 3 provided a Russian lady voice, I was very happy about that. I'm like, no game ever does this for me, and finally a game has, and that was the closest I ever got. And then what happens to her? What happens to the voice actress, which I don't know her name offhand? Tara Platt. Tara Platt is the voice actress. Did not make a return in Saints Row 4.
Isn't
which
there
is
a
shame?
I didn't listen to it for long, but isn't the second voice still somewhat accented?
That's Hispanic accent.
Oh, is it? Okay. Like I said, I Laura Bailey's my one.
It's white, Hispanic, and African American. That's
Laura
the way they do their
Laura
voices.
Bailey's probably my one because it's the same voice she did in Shattered Memories, but like a bit more over the top.
I'm going with the female one voice as well.
Yeah.
So, but yes, that other than that is the same character. I imported her, tweaked her a bit, and yeah, it's weird not hearing the voice I have associated with her in my brain. It's weird hearing the voice I had associated with her from the previous game not making a return. But what can you do? So yeah, other than that, like getting back to the actual game itself,
Yeah.
yeah, lots of fucking laugh out loud moments. I had to pause the intro, like the
Yes.
beginning prologue of the game, several times because
Exactly,
I was fucking
yeah.
losing it.
There was one scene. Yeah, there was one scene in particular I had to stop for a second because yeah.
Like you know that there are songs that they bought the license to for one joke,
Yeah.
like, and that happens a few times in the game.
But that's why they work.
Yes, it's like they bothered. They gave enough of a shit to do that, and that is great and good on them for it. But yeah, and in terms of just actual gameplay, I don't mind it. People are like, Saints Row 3. It's hard to say the game was grounded, but like by comparison, yes, the
Hey,
gameplay in
guess
the game
what?
is pretty
It
grounded.
plays better than Saints Row 2 as well.
It does.
Yeah.
But Saints Row 4, like, I don't mind it. But, like, on the other hand, the gameplay feels a bit much. It feels like, well, you've completely invalidated cars by giving us this
A
crazy
bit,
sprint
yeah.
option.
There's like maybe an hour that you'll keep using them, but until you unlock, yeah, because like one of the quests I've got coming up is unlimited sprint.
Yep.
So
I mean, it's just weird the way they've, like, organized stuff around that game.
yeah,
And I don't know if I necessarily enjoy playing it. It's not the game I want to be playing right now, is the problem. Like,
Oh.
I will finish this game at some point. I'll finish this game at some point. I'm just not in the mood for, like, a big, like, superhero game right now. I was hoping for another, like, I could deal with, like, another Grand Theft Auto. I could play a Grand Theft Auto 5
that's
right
weird
about
you would
now.
say that because there might be a game coming out soon that will fill those
Really?
needs. Yeah.
Hopeful. I've been waiting for so long.
True crime free.
Yes! Been waiting!
Oh shit!
Is True Crime the one where you can play as Snoop Dogg in one of
Yes.
those games?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can't
and
wait.
yes.
After that
Um,
last Snoop Dogg video game, I need another Snoop Dogg video game.
Yeah. No, True Crime 1. That game's
Please,
still cool.
it's,
I wanna.
it's Snoop Lion now.
No, he changed it back. He was
It
done, right?
depends. It depends on like how he's feeling.
Oh, okay.
It seems because like in the Tekken tag where he had his own stage, he's Snoop Dogg, but he makes allusions to the lion part of himself. It's like his alter ego, man. He's multiple personas.
I don't know if it's really a
Ganja
problem.
of the mind.
I don't know if it's really a problem that they invalidated cars because I never liked driving cars in Saints Row games anyway. Because the hand.
I never minded it. I thought it was fine. I thought the cars handled appropriately.
Well,
Smash
maybe-
that nitrous, baby.
Maybe
Better than Grand Theft Auto 4.
I don't know.
better than fucking Grand Theft Auto 4.
I like Grand Theft Auto 4's
Well,
handling.
four they were going for a very particular feel. Like you do
Yeah,
kind of have
they
to
were.
get into it before it blends in, kind of thing.
Yep. But
Uh,
yeah, that's Saints Row 4. If you're on the fence about it, as the one
Fuck
who's played
you.
more.
That's what I'm gonna say. If you had any doubts about that, fuck
Like,
you.
it depends. Do you want it? Do you like Saints Row for the story? Then yes, abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh, yeah.
If you thought Saints 3 was funny, Saints Row 3 was funny, then yeah, what are you doing? Buy this. It might be even funnier. It might actually be a funnier game overall.
Yeah.
They go directions here. There are things they do for comedy purposes that are like fucking crazy. Like you are like, why would they? What really? Okay, I guess this is what happened now. I guess this is what's happened to the universe now. I guess you just made this huge decision in the first 2 hours of the game.
Yeah.
That is literally the craziest thing to ever happen in any video game ever, and you just did it as like a one-off joke. And
Oh.
but yeah, if you're looking for if you like superhero games, you will probably enjoy it. If you are like looking for a super gritty crime drama, then what are you doing looking at Saints Row? What are you going to Saints Row for? Like it hasn't been like that since 3,
Yeah.
you weirdo.
And if you liked Saints Row 1 and 2 more, I'm not even gonna say go back and play those because you're a bad person. Just don't do anything. Just stand still
it hasn't been a
until
gritty-
you fall over out of exhaustion.
It hasn't been a gritty crime thing since the first game, and that
No,
wasn't very good.
the second one has like sad dying stuff, but then yeah, like every other minute, like goofy stuff's happening, and then you're at a funeral and it's super serious. It's all over the place and it doesn't work.
hard left turns,
Yeah,
but I'll finish that and I'll probably talk more about it, give a final verdict on it. But I'm pretty sure I know how
Oh.
I feel about that game. Let's move on to some other things I've been playing. To what I've been playing, rather.
what else you been playing, Habe?
I've still been trying to play Rise of the Triad.
Oh, try.
The community for Rise of the Triad is gone already.
Oh no. Not even the devs?
Look, there's like handful of servers that are still up. And there's maybe a handful of people on it at any given time, but never like a full match, which is a shame. I'm hoping that Steam Workshop coming back, or Steam Workshop finally being integrated, rather, will bring people back, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there is, like, someone who's already working on making all the Quake Deathmatch maps for Rise of the Triad,
Yeah.
which would be fun to play.
This
I mean-
is the impression I got, but would you say that because the multiplayer was kind of rocky at launch, that maybe people don't assume it got fixed?
That's a possibility. Those people are dumb. They should check in on their investment. Is this what I would do? There's a changelog. I mean, the launcher for that game has a changelog up front, so any changes that get made, you can just look at it and be like, yeah, they fixed this, changed that. But no, I mean, the single-player mode in that game is... My ability to play that kind of first-person shooter is atrophied, clearly. Because I tried playing it on hard. I didn't go into ludicrous difficulty or whatever the equivalent is. I don't know what they call the difficulty levels.
Wait,
in that
another game Ludacris is involved in?
I know. He's getting some play today.
First punk
Thank-
rock, now video games? Jeez,
Thank God.
Ludacris. That is ludicrous of you, Ludacris.
But yeah, I reached like a wall that I could not climb over, that I could not mount.
Yeah,
in
no, you gotta
single-player campaign.
use the jump pads.
And yeah, thank you. I meant figurative, but thank you. And at that point, like I died in the same spot like a dozen times, and I said, I'll just play multiplayer for this game. I'll eventually, at some point, I'll probably just finish the single player if I'm in the mood for it. But I don't know. It's fine. It's good. It's exactly what it promised it was, and I can't fault it for anything. It is exactly the game it promised it would be, and it's great. It succeeds at that. I'm clearly the target audience for it, but at the same time, I need to put work into being able to play that kind of game again. So that's the problem. That's the little dilemma that I'm facing right now. And it's hard to play that when there are like so many games that came out. That's the dilemma. It's the other dilemma I have right now. Payday 2 officially launched. Payday 2 officially fucking awesome. Like, I just want to keep playing that game. Is all I want to be playing right now. I'd rather be playing that right now.
I'm playing it
rather be
right now,
heisted.
actually.
You fuck. Let me just verify that you are doing it.
Yes.
You fucker.
Report from the field suggests that Grenatag is currently playing Payday 2.
So, great. Yeah, it's just super fun. Community is a real bunch of pissy, whiny babies. They're gonna add more stuff into this game. They said up front that the game wasn't launching with every single piece of content for it. That stuff would be rolled out over time. They wanted to get the game out. They wanted to get it out there. And people are just fucking whining about shit. Like, people are dumb. People playing this game are dumb. I mentioned in the last episode that the puppies playing the beta with me were dumb. People are still fucking dumb in this game. And I have to kick so many people like over the course of any given heist.
Johnny!
My favorite thing to do is... yeah, that's one of them. You listened in on that. You listened in on that little heist. People are so bad. People don't listen to the voice chat. You need to listen to the fucking voice chat in that game. You know, you fucking need to. I can get, like, turning off voice chat for fucking Call of Duty or whatever. There's no tactical talk going on there. But for a game like Payday 2, yeah, fucker, turn it on and fucking listen up. Don't be in a Skype call with 12 other people. Don't be just dicking around. Don't play it casually. If you're playing Payday 2, fucking commit to it. Because, god damn it, if you're not, you're fucking shit up for everyone.
Yeah.
You're fucking shit up for yourself.
Like a real heist, don't be updating your Twitter.
Don't be a fucking Wayne Dingo or whatever the fucking guy's name from Heat was. Which, by the way, there's the armored truck heist is gonna be DLC for this game. Literally, the armored truck heist from the beginning of Heat will just be a level in this game, so it's finally, like... I mean, there's a level in the original Payday called Heat Street, so I mean, obviously, this whole game is inspired by Heat, but their dream has finally come true. They're finally just straight up reenacting the fucking thing from Heat. But yeah, people are still really fucking bad at the game. If you want to play that game, get friends together. Don't fuck around with puppies. Get a fucking buddy and fucking...
Yeah, get a fuck buddy.
Get a
Yeah,
fuck buddy. Get your fuck buddy, buy him the game, be like, hey look, I know you're not usually a gamer, but I need another person for my fucking heisting crew. And they'll probably fucking love it. They'll probably fucking love it. It's because it's so fucking good. It's just so good, and people who are complaining about it, who are threatening to quit the game, are fucking stupid. They'll come back when the stuff comes out for the game, but they're making a lot of noise. And
Sorry, it's the way you said they threatening to quit the game. I just imagined that they had the game running the whole time and like, man, if they fuck it up very soon, I'm fucking quitting.
basically, no, that's it. That's actually what's happening. If you look at the Steam community hub for it, people are so fucking stupid and stubborn, and fuck 'em, man. And the game's getting such a shit rap. I mean, it's getting... The Metacritic score is like an 80-something. That's appropriate. That's fine. That's what it deserves. But it's getting a bum rap even from, like, games journalists, even ones I really trust. And that's really fucking disappointing, man! It's really shitty! When Jeff fucking Gersman... I can get him not liking the game. That's fine. But when you put out a quick look that opens up with 15 minutes of fucking single player, fucking offline mode, which I don't even know what's in the game at this point, but it's not what you're supposed to... That's not how you play the game. And when you open up with 15 fucking minutes of that, and shit takes forever, that's not a good impression of the game. That's a fucking terrible impression of the game. That is turning people off of the game, and it's your job as a fucking game reviewer and a fucking video maker to understand how to fucking pace your content, how to open up a fucking video to give a fucking game the representation it deserves. And that was fucked, and he fucked that up. And then he goes into the online mode later in the video, I will admit. But when you open up with that, when that's a fucking cold open, that's a fucking cold move of him to do. Like, I get it, you don't like the game, but that doesn't mean you have to fucking sabotage your quick look of it. And everything he's done after that, answering questions on Tumblr and just shitting on the game, continuing to shit on the game, is just really fucking bugging me. And it's really fucking bugging me. And I just need to say that, because this is a guy I usually trust. This is a guy who I'm usually, like, spot on. Our opinions are, like, hand in hand. We agree on so much shit. So, it's fine that I don't agree with him on this shit, but the way he handled it was very fucking unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
We need to do our own quick look.
We might as well. This game really, it doesn't need that. It doesn't need that. That was not the video it needed. And that's a fucking shame. That's just a really big fucking bummer.
I feel like a bad human, because every time I've heard the phrase, like, oh, this isn't the thing that it's needed, like, I don't want to make the joke about The Dark Knight. I want to make a joke about the people who make jokes about The Dark Knight. But then I feel bad, because every time, I just want to go, Dark Knight joke.
Yep.
Every time.
But I'm not the one making the Dark Knight joke, though, so it's a stretch. That's basically what we call that in the biz. But to not talk about that fucking video, which is the thing that's been really weighing on my mind and fucking bugging me the past few days. Yeah, it's a really fun game. They sell boxed copies of that game, for some reason, for $40, which is $10 more than it costs on PC, or even downloadable from the PS3 and Xbox 360 marketplaces.
That's why... Oh, was it an online-only game?
Well, yeah! It's a co-op game. It is intended...
No, I mean... Can you only get it on the PlayStation Network or Xbox Live Arcade or whatever it's called?
Well, I just said there are box copies of it.
For consoles, though.
If there's box copies, then that's why there's single player.
But the single player doesn't count for anything. The single player is literally just a way to explore the maps and levels on your own. Like, they have no intention of people playing that way, like, exclusively. And if you are, you're playing that game the wrong fucking way, and you're gonna make that game miserable for yourself. No. And it's just dumb. It's just a lot of dumb stuff surrounding that game, but the game itself is so good. It's so fucking good, and I feel so bad for Overkill. Like, I don't give a shit about developers half the time. I don't give a shit about the developer. Like, I'll thank him for putting out a good game, and that'll be it. But, like, Overkill, for not even having that big a track record, just for having Payday 1 and 2, like, well, I feel for those guys.
They're mostly ex-Grin, by the way, so they're the guys who brought us Bionic Commando.
Which is another underrated game, by the way. Controversial opinion. That game probably deserved a better rap than it got. But yeah, it's a fucking shame. I mean, the game's still doing well. The game is exceeding sales expectations for those box copies, I should mention. That they need to order more boxes pressed and put out. There's like a pretty healthy amount of players online at any given time on PC, at least like 25,000 players ready to heist, or 35,000 at peak hours. So good for them. At least it's doing well for itself, and I hope it continues to do well. Like, I legitimately hope it continues to do well. More stuff is added on than they even planned on adding on to the game. They get to make whatever games they fucking want. I'll play everything they make. And that's how I feel about Payday 2. It's really good. If you're on the fence about that, yes, get it. Just fucking get it. And I'll play with you. I'll fucking heist with you. I don't give a fuck. You want someone to heist with? I will heist with you. Add me on Steam and fucking join my game. If you see me playing it, just join in and say, hey, what up, Haber? And I'll be like, yeah, cool, dude. Let's fucking heist. That's how I feel about Payday 2.
Some burning passion there, I tell you.
You know what else I played?
No, tell me.
You know what else came out? XCOM The Bureau Declassified.
Man, that
Let's
game
move
looks
on
a
to the
lot like-
latest videos.
Let's talk about how fucking long that name is.
There's longer names of games that could be worse.
I like how
I didn't play enough
originally-
of that to. I haven't played enough of that to give like a full thought on it to really like go in depth on it. But let me just say, what I played so far, not good, not really digging it, not great. The combat's not fun. The dialogue is really hokey and bad and poorly voice acted. The cutscenes are really fucking trash. Those are the impressions I'm getting so far. And I know, like, XCOM and story and voice acting are all things that are like fucking oil and water together. I mean, look at XCOM Enemy Unknown, and like, you can tell it's not a focus. You can tell they don't give a fuck. It is a pretense. It is something to put in the game to keep you playing the game, to make it look like there is a narrative to that game. But the problem is that Bureau presents itself as like a game with a narrative and with characters, and it's still like the same level of quality as XCOM Enemy Unknown, which is a fucking problem. But more on that. I'll have more on that for the next episode, probably. I'll have to finish that at some point. But that pretty much wraps up what we've been playing, which means we get to move on to the next section, which are latest videos?
Listen up, you crazy fucking push. This is John and we are the Dinner Dates Tag Team. Yeah, that's bloody right, and we're gonna tell you about all the fucking videos we uploaded this week. Yeah, you fucking tell them, backhead fella.
今天我来解决一个中文视频。
Yeah, that's fucking right, Grenatag.
How come Grenatag is be called Grenatag in that, but I have to be fucking...
Oh, I thought that was his name.
It is.
Well, that's his wrestler name. Because he used to be part of a Backyard Wrestling, and they've got the copyright, so... Politics.
So, there's not too many of these to address. We put out... I continue to update my LPs at a very slow rate, but yeah, I continue to update them. As far as like sort of original or content removed from that, we did the Frontlines Fuel of War video, which I did with Niggeroth, who was a tester for the game. So that was an interesting video. You know, that's like the second one we've got to do with a beta person, with a tester person. The first one being the Legendary interview I did. And it's always interesting to get their perspective. We have another video coming up with another guy who wasn't a tester, but who contributed to a game, who did work on a game, and we take a look at a game. That's already recorded. I just have to edit that thing together. So that should also be interesting. But I like the way that came out. We had some interesting discussions. He told some pretty great stories about how those Chaos Studio guys, maybe fucking scumbags, maybe deserve to be dissolved as a studio. He made a pretty good case for that, I think.
Didn't
yeah,
they
it's not a
already
great
get
game.
dissolved? So like,
I mean, yeah, they did. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was well earned.
take
That
those,
it was not a loss.
you fucking New Yorkers.
But yeah, so that's a video. There's not too much to say about that. I think it speaks for itself. And people curious how I got in contact with him, he's another LPer who posts on the Something Awful forums. That's how you do it. People asked me, how did you get in contact with that tester for Legendary? How did you like find him out? Like, did you like go down the list of testers? I'm like, no, he was a poster on the Something Awful forums. Like, he came to me. It's that simple. But yeah. So Frontlines, hell of a game. Pretty good video. But more importantly, this is bigger. This is probably bigger news as far as like the direction we may be headed, or this is a thing we might like to do again in the future. We did a live show for Battle Los Angeles.
A full Let's Play of Battle Los
full
Angeles.
Let's Play in less than 2 hours, and 1 hour and 18 minutes. I think was the final.
That sounds
time
about
on
right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a game that was given to me by a fan, by the way. So, thank you, Hervantes, again. for gifting me that. And I told him,
Avantes.
I knew that, like, I knew I had to do something special with it. So I'm like, look, I can't just do a video of this. I want to do this, like, live. I gotta do something special with this, and you should be there.
And it
I
was
said
something special.
it was. More people showed up than I expected. I think we peaked at, like, 40 people, which is
a
more
little
than
higher than that, actually, I think.
More than expected, considering I gave, like, no announcement of this. I gave people less than a day to know about, like, when I was recording. Less than 24 hours to, like, show up. So that's a surprising amount of turnout for that. And also being our first live thing that we've done. So hopefully in the future we can get even more than that. And I got some stuff planned. I got some ideas stirring in my head. But the stream turned out pretty well, I thought. I mean, the game itself, we finished it in a timely manner.
And that fucking game as well.
A fucking game. We had some issues with audio levels during the stream. I'm going to iron those out for future stuff. But luckily, there's a YouTube version of that up as well, which fixes all the audio levels. Looks like a proper Let's Play with, auto-ducking and everything. I'm going to continue to do that for these streams. There was the after show, which I'm not going to be posting on YouTube, sad to say. Because, one, the game we played had a lot of copyrighted music in it. And two, we have to have an incentive to show up to these fucking things. So that's exclusive content, which you can still watch archived on Twitch, mind you. But you should show up for that, because that is where I did the most of the talking to the audience bit, where I took suggestions for games, I added a bunch of people on Steam, we played a bit of Rise of the Triad with a few people, which, that went really well. That was really fun.
Joined a Duke Nukem tournament.
We almost got roped into joining a Duke Nukem Forever tournament. Which is fucking crazy, but that still exists. But sure, why not?
How could you almost get roped into it? You obviously have to go do it.
I think it's a little late for that. I think we missed it, unfortunately. But yes, I have some ideas for more stuff down the line. So hopefully people will show up for that, and hopefully we'll iron out the little issues we had, and hopefully it can be a thing we can do like on some sort of semi-regular basis, much like this podcast.
Yeah, so I just want to say about the game, because I did see the whole thing, but I wasn't able to commentate.
You were just moderating the chat.
So, still, one of the best moments in that game is when they're doing the concept art cutscenes, and there's the guy in the chopper who's going down, and he's just got the fucking, like, Nike face is the only way I can put it. Just like... And,
that's where I lost that. That's one of the instances where I fucking lost it during that.
Something that I wanted to point out, because I noticed this a lot. So, that game has destructible environments.
People pointed this out, and I didn't believe it.
No, like, there's a bit where there's like loads of pillars around you. Yeah.
I looked at the footage again, and yeah.
And it's like, why? That's like... actually looks
good. It's a weird level of detail that they put in for some reason. Doesn't really pay off.
I bet. So I did some research while you're streaming, and the studio, Saber Interactive, that's their own engine. So it was probably just some weird holdover. Maybe that's in God Hand. So check that out, I guess. I also like how Saber Interactive used a different name when they developed that game. For some reason.
I wonder why.
They took the Infamous font and they made their own name. I don't know what's up with that. That is like when we were watching that, I was like, "Where's that font?" It's the Infamous font, like the buildings with the as silhouettes in the letters. That's the Infamous font, I think.
Interesting.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that's where I've seen that.
By the way, can I just say one thing about someone who showed up, which made me very happy, and it was everything I could do to not really mention it. There's a reference to him, but I'd call him by name at some point. But Judge Reinhold showed up, who is the leader. Who is the primary person in Men Drinking Coffee, which is my all-time, undoubtedly, like, favorite LP group, which is the best, which are way funnier than us. They're funnier than I can even ever hope to be, to be honest. And he showed up, and he made jokes in the chat, and he was playing along, and it was fucking awesome, and I wanted to shout out to him, but I thought it'd be really tacky and lame of me, and it is right now, too, so... Yeah, sorry if this sounds dumb, but I was very happy he showed up, and that was really cool. And he should be more popular than we are, to be honest.
When's the Men Drinking Coffee Cross Dinner Dates series going to come out?
You know, we have similar names when you think about it. You know, a dinner date over coffee.
All right,
that would be the name of the crossover.
Now I just want a coffee.
This sounds so dumb. He's not even in the room when we're talking about this stupid shit.
No, what's happening?
Sorry, I'm a loser.
It's happening, man.
Oh, confirmed. Okay, good.
I'm
Confirmed.
I'm talking to the lawyers right now.
Our legal team, our crack legal team, and by crack legal team I mean they're on crack.
By
Let's
crack,
go make that. Let's go make that
by
joke.
crack legal
Gonna be
team.
quick
I mean,
on these jokes.
I am on crack right now.
Race
and
to
I'm
the
sending them
joke.
a PM.
Yeah. Tortoise in the hair. Fucking hair won because he's on crack.
That's the part of the story I forgot from my childhood.
Yeah. Well, they don't tell you that when you're young. They like to blanket over the grid.
It's like history books. It's like
Yeah.
the history books are like, oh, George Washington chopped down the cherry tree and said I cannot tell a lie, and it's all bullshit. Primarily because I think that was Abraham Lincoln who did that, and not George Washington. So that's for one. And two, Abraham Lincoln also did not do that. That is also bullshit. They don't tell you a lot of stuff during history class. Like there's a lot of stuff. I don't know how education system works in the UK about this stuff, but American
Oh no,
history.
UK history in school is terrible because it's just like here's what happened in England up until World War II, and then you're on your own.
Elementary school through high school for Americans is a very censored version of world history where you're not told the full stories, where details are fully omitted. You will not hear about the American eugenics program in a high school level history class.
We
the
should,
part where we literally castrated people,
Oh,
where we made
topic for next week.
sterilized, where we made them not able to have children, and how that directly inspired Adolf Hitler to incorporate the eugenics program into Germany, where they literally did execute people. So you don't get that. They don't put that in the history book. They don't put that in the your guide to learning American history for 10th graders
See,
or whatever.
North Korea, I don't get why all the heat because you've got more in common than you know. Should be best of buddies, really.
We should. I mean, home front should have brought us together. Instead, it's just tearing us
Yeah.
apart. That's a weird tangent for me to have gone off on. I don't know. That's the historian in me. That's the potentially would have been a historian in me coming out and saying stupid stuff and fucking up the details. So that's gonna do it for latest videos, I guess. Let's move on to some gaming news.
All right, here we go.
I wonder who it could be.
It's me, Gaming News. Ah, son of a bitch. It's me, Gaming News. It was me all along.
Son of a bitch!
Oh, I didn't see it coming. Reveal
So we
the
got
century.
We got some gaming news to talk about.
Oh, yeah, and this is old news by now.
It is, but it's still worth talking
It's great
about.
news. I love it.
Breaking gaming news, Fez 2 fucking cancelled.
Yeah! Yeah!
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above, and something else about God. Our God is an awesome God.
Phil Fish can eat my dick.
Yo, God, big ups.
So,
Just
Matt,
wanna point out-
you want to summate what happened?
Well,
You wanna
first off,
summate
I just want to
the
point out the irony that the indie video game scene, which is supposed to be, like the forefront of like new, original ideas, and here's a sequel to Fez. It took me 5 years. I thought it'd be quicker just to make another one. But yeah, so Phil Fish, he likes to go on the internet. He's just like me, really. I don't know why we don't get along together. We both use the internet. So someone on the internet who sounds like me, but he doesn't look like me at all, said some mean things about Phil Fish. And honestly, Phil Fish, he's had loads of people have said some mean things about him in the past, and he had enough of it. He was like, I'm going to pull out the freshest Futurama quote I have on hand, and there's no repercussions, of course. And then when there are repercussions, it's like, screw you guys, I'm going home.
He pulled out a South Park reference.
Yeah, he went home.
Yeah.
He went home, and there was much rejoice.
So basically, Phil Fish is a whiny baby idiot bitch.
He
To
is.
to say what actually happened, I don't remember what the guy's name is from. Was it Game Trailers or was it the Escapist?
It was Game Trailers. I believe his pseudonym is the Annoyed Gamer.
Which is just highly original. This sounds like
Yeah.
a man I can trust with gaming opinions.
So
this guy is obviously a
to
fucking
go into
idiot,
details,
too.
so he went on their show.
This guy
it's-
is a fucking nobody as well. So
Yeah. So that's which makes this even more funny. At the end of the
Yes,
day.
it does.
Went on their show and he had a rant about how when the news leaked about Xbox supporting indie devs, when the press went to like two of the most famous indie devs out there right now, and they refused to do the news, that it's like that's being too big of them. That the video game industry and the people who make video games kind of rely on each other, and if you're gonna like block them out, just and not explain why, and because the reason they Jonathan Blow came out later said was because like it wasn't confirmed, though I don't know why they didn't just tell them that, just say, oh well, it's not confirmed, so I ain't got nothing to say. Instead, just outright denied them. And yes, this guy made a rant. He called them tosspots, which from what I could tell from Gaming News, found that really offensive. And I know it is because it's implying that it is a bucket that you use to collect semen in every time you masturbate. But it just, because it's this like British slang, it's like tosspot, mate. It just sounds goofy. It sounds so fucking goofy.
I know enough. I've been immersed enough in British slang that like I can look at that and I understand the actual connotation of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's pretty.
If he had
harsh
said
of him.
cum bucket, then I probably, because bucket already is like not a sophisticated, like pot sounds like, oh, that's that's
You can
made
cook that
for this
semen out.
activity. Yeah. Whereas
There's a
bucket,
website dedicated to cooking with semen. There's cookbooks dedicated to cooking with semen as a salt
Oh.
substitute. That's all you should know that.
I'm glad to know that you know that as well.
Well,
So some
well,
guy made a rant about Phil Fish, and then Phil Fish went on Twitter, as he does, started making references to shows without realizing he was making death threats.
Oh, by references to a show, you mean where he says that he should kill himself, or the man should murder himself?
Yeah, which is like it's a quote from Futurama, but like that's besides the point. Because guess what? When you put like 140 characters on Twitter, it doesn't sound like Bender. And it's also doesn't play the entire episode of Futurama so people know what's going on. They just see you asking the person to kill themselves.
That's
know,
not the feature?
No,
That's not built into Twitter?
not yet.
Fuck.
Not
Coming
saying it.
soon.
When
Not
they up
saying
their
it won't.
character limit too.
Yeah, Hideo will. Oh man, have a field day.
To 141.
So yes, none of us in this room are looking forward to Fez 2. Let's
Yeah,
just
and-
say there are people who were for some reason. These people
Yeah,
are also known as
and
idiots.
I also want to mention this as well. So there's two people out there. I think there are people who, well, okay, I'm gonna say it's three people. There's people who hate Fez 2. There are people who don't like it, but like don't accept that people might like it. And then there's the people who like it that say it is amazing and no one can not like it.
also known as idiots.
Yeah, it's like, look, you can like something. You can like something really bad, and that's fine. But if you don't acknowledge that other people don't like it, then your opinion cannot be put into arguments.
I
Because
acknowledge
then you
that
don't
people
have it-
don't. I acknowledge that there are faults with Call of Duty and that there are legitimate reasons why people might not like those games.
Yeah.
People who are defenders of Fez and the cult of personality of Phil Fish.
Well, that's the thing. Like, don't be defending it to people.
You are defending a game with barely any gameplay. There's no enemies. There's no penalty for death. It's
Yeah.
the most empty, shallow experience. It is a pretense to collect puzzle pieces and solve stupid QR code puzzles and backtrack to your heart's content. I
Yeah,
guess.
guess what?
I don't
Paper
understand how
Mario.
people like
Paper
it.
Mario came out on the Wii ages ago. There was even like an old. There was a PSP game that did the same thing. Like,
There's a
it's not an
Flash
original
game that got
concept.
made during the development time of
Yeah.
Fez, which is better than Fez,
Yeah.
which is an actual game. It's a piece of shit. And I don't get how anyone likes it. Really don't get it.
Yeah, but
really
again,
just don't understand how people can even like that game. But that's me.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you're gonna like it, you're gonna like it. But the people who like that game and end up having to defend Phil Fish because he is so intertwined with that game, what are you doing with
Yeah,
your life?
and-
Look at this
and again-
fucking scumbag.
It's defending Phil Fish because it's not like Phil Fish has a track record of being a fucking asshole in person and on Twitter. Like there's the one that was kind of famous was him like telling a Japanese developer that he thought Japanese video games are bad.
And then telling
there's-
someone that he won IGF awards for a game which shouldn't have been eligible for the IGF awards
Yeah,
because it wasn't officially
there's-
released. And then someone telling them to suck his dick and choke on it.
Oh. There was
Isn't that a good
him
one?
saying like Metal Gear Solid is good despite of Hideo Kojima's involvement, which I think
Which
is laughable.
that's the
'cause-
most contrarian bullshit I've ever heard in my fucking
yeah, especially
life.
because if you go back to like Metal Gear Solid 1, where he was like the scenario writer, so he picked exactly where all the enemies are and how the game played and everything. So I guess like he doesn't like how it plays. He doesn't like this. He just likes how it looks. Really,
That's
is
kind of
what
like
he's trying to
saying
say.
it's kind of like saying Doom would be better even though John Carmack,
Yeah.
didn't have any involvement in it. That's just fucking ridiculous.
Well,
If
no,
they had
he's
stayed true to the Doom Bible, if they had stayed true to that Doom Bible design
He's saying like,
document
we're really lucky that Doom came out good, especially because fucking John Carmack was making it. Like,
it's
that's what he said basically.
he's
And
such an idiot.
and there's
hate every part
also
of
my
it.
favorite quote is and I can recite not verbatim, but most of his Twitter exchange, which involved the post, "Why do people like the 3DS? It's just a fucking gimmicky bullshit." And then a person replied to him and said the guy who made a game that's entire gimmick is three dimensional, like 3D stuff. And then he responded, "Says the guy who has less Twitter followers than me."
That's literally a fucking Mr. Show sketch. There's a Mr. Show sketch called "More Money Equals Better Than You,"
Yeah.
which is about the way to measure human worth is how much money someone makes. And by that logic, Einstein was an idiot, and and lottery winners are geniuses.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Um,
And it's horrifying that a man actually people can actually think that way.
So I also want to mention. So the last podcast we talked about Penny Arcade, and this is kind of a similar situation of.
Of people who are super fucking dense, not realizing how dense
Yeah,
they are, and not
and-
feeling obligated to apologize for stuff.
And I think we have some experience with this about. Guess what? When people say mean things to you on the internet, there are ways to deal with that. There are things you should and shouldn't do.
To briefly touch upon what you're referencing, because I know we've been putting off of the project,
Yeah.
explaining what Medicare was and
Well,
is and
I
will
was
be.
more saying like, but again, like Phil Fish, like instead of just being like, oh yeah, people say mean things about me, but I'm the head of my my developer company, I shouldn't say anything.
He
Instead of,
feels
like,
the need to make it
to
take
like
it
go
super
on Twitter
personal.
and say stuff and doesn't think anyone is gonna read it. And I actually have a subtopic for this, which
Let me get my little
Oh, yeah, go
let me
ahead.
get my little point out of the way just real quick, and say that like during our time fucking with people on the internet, which
Yep.
we fucked with a lot of people on the internet. Some of them took it well. Some of them didn't take it so well. Some of them are still fucking mad about it. Some of
Yes.
them are still obsessed about it. Those people are literally fucked in the head. Phil Fish is probably literally fucked in the head, guys. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is probably something legitimately wrong with him. He probably
I guess
has
at the
some
same time,
horrible, like social disorder or, like, mental
I have
problem.
heard that Indie Game the movie does portray him as being like a sociopath or something.
That's potentially it. That could potentially be it.
But like at a certain extent though, like quitting the internet like looks really childish. But like if he was getting that bad to the point where like he was accidentally making death threats on the internet, that was probably
Now is a good time to take a break.
that was probably- yeah.
for the best.
I think if he comes back, like that will actually be worse for his image. Everyone's saying
Yes,
like,
it
oh, he's
would.
just gonna come back, and then everyone's gonna get hype again.
Because where would his credibility be? Where
Yeah.
the fuck would his credibility be at this point? Because like he said
That-
he quit, he said the game is done, and now he's still making it.
He'll take
Why
the
can-
money
how can you
and he
trust this
will
man?
run.
How can you trust this man with
That's
anything?
That's my favorite quote.
How
I take
can you
the
give
money,
him your money after that? How can you give him your money after that quote?
which he has already run off with.
Apparently, all
Yeah.
that Fez 2 pre-order money that never existed. But sure, why not?
All that money he saved not patching Fez on the Xbox.
So what is your sub point?
This is kind of like an ongoing thing. So I feel like people using Twitter and anything posted on Twitter as like a news story is kind of bad. But then again, I'm not so sure because like Twitter like has got to this point now where people using it might as well just have like chips in their brains that just like automatically copy and paste their thoughts onto a news feed because that's the way people use it.
It's a stream of consciousness. It
Yeah,
is
because I
literally a
remember
stream of
back to
consciousness.
E3 when all the the Xbox DRM stuff was going on, and every time, and this is nothing against him, but like every time Cliff Brzezinski made a Twitter post about it, news topic on every gaming site. This is what Cliffy B said on Twitter. Like, it's not a news story. Guess what? If I go out in the street and ask some guy like, "What do you think of my shoes?" That's not, like it's like no one wants to see the stuff on TV. Yeah, like when you see the stuff on TV where they go to the public and they say, "What do you think about the
Vox
public
pop.
opinion?"
Vox Pop is the word for that.
Oh, well, it shouldn't be a thing. Like no one cares.
It shouldn't be. Yeah, it's fucking
Like,
stupid.
the public
it's the
are
death
dumb.
of news. Vox Populi is the death of television news. And, people taking the Twitter super seriously, I don't get it. I can't
Yeah,
even navigate
but at
Twitter.
the same
I try to
time-
read tweets and I get confused.
All right, there, Grandpa.
I'm old. I'm the old man in the room.
I'm older than you, you fucking asshole.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
older.
very
I'm
behind.
bolder.
Hashtags. Hashtags.
Oh, I love hashtags, especially on Facebook. They're good. No.
And then the at symbol, and it's like I get confused reading a tweet. I'm like, what? Who is this being directed
Oh yeah,
to?
no, that's just
Where is the reply? What is the original?
That's not
post
that.
here?
That's just because Twitter's like, like formatting is terrible.
And
But,
it is.
you
It's
know.
also just hard to navigate for me.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
because
sorry,
there's
like,
because
I-
there's kind of nothing to navigate.
I am not super tech savvy, guys. Here's a list of things I know how to do on a computer. I can like install games and play them. I can edit video real good. Like maybe want to make a career out of that. Maybe I can do like Word documents. I can browse the internet. I can like make folders and I can organize folders pretty well.
All right.
Dude, you should put this on your resume.
Basically it. That's basically it. I also have like a pretty good words per minute. Let me put that down. Like it's like 85, I think, words per minute.
But so I was kind of thinking like people, the gaming media, like every time someone makes a Twitter post, like it's like I expect exclamation mark to do it, but then I'm like, oh yeah, that's so fucking gay. The game news. That's so homosexual of the gaming news.
Thank you. Much more appropriate.
And then I'm in a public place where they're playing the BBC News. And they're talking about a court case where police accidentally killed someone, and then they're like, and the Sun went on Twitter to thank everyone. It's like, what the hell is going on?
We're living in crazy fucking times,
Yeah.
man. Like, look at CNN. CNN and television news is so fucking desperate to stay relevant. Like, American news is the worst. I've seen British news. I've watched BBC World News, and you're pretty bad about it, but not nearly as bad as we are. Literally everything. Every other second, it's like, oh, that's going to do it for the news. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at cnn.twitter.com or whatever the fuck it is. And you can also check my Instagram for photos I'm taking around the world.
Oh, that's bad.
And
Yeah,
also
that's bad.
go to the CNN Facebook page and like us on Facebook so we can and get the latest news from there. And it's like, stop it! Why do you have a fucking television channel? Why do you have a channel if you're doing all this shit online? If we can get everything you're doing on the TV online, then what's the point of watching
Well,
you on
again,
the TV?
I don't think TV
Oh
is
wait,
going to
that's
be
right.
around.
Because the television is what I want to fucking watch. Because I want to see video of my news. I want to see fucking anchors. I want to see like a fucking program, a block of stuff. That's what I want. And when I want to watch television news, which is never, I want to watch fucking television news. I don't want to be browsing the fucking internet and liking
I'm
shit
gonna
on
stop
Facebook.
I'm going to stop you there because like that's my whole argument. It's like I don't think TV needs to be around anymore.
It doesn't.
Anyway,
It really
like,
fucking
if
doesn't.
if it exists in 10 years' time, like I don't know what I will do.
The problem is, for dinosaurs like me, like, who can't navigate Facebook, who can't navigate Twitter, who's just finally figuring out fucking Tumblr, all this stuff online is fucking crazy, and sometimes I just want to turn on TV and have the news come to me.
To be
And
fair, like Twitter and Facebook have terrible user interfaces.
they do. They really do.
Like Facebook is alarmingly bad. I'm surprised it's so popular because it's not good. It is.
Well, it's not because it's good. It's because it's how you talk to people.
But yeah, but like it's. But you know, like they could have stuck to MySpace. Like I get like the integration buff, but at least MySpace was okay to use. I don't know what it's like now because I just get this like shitty advert all the time with this like really bad fake Daft Punk song on it, and it's like, oh, check out these hipster indie singers, and you can tell because it's like the female singers who, when they're like singing on camera, they're like looking up to the left and don't look at the camera, and they've got like this kind of sorrowful look on their face, and follow their music on MySpace. You cool ass kids. Oh. I see. I'm the old one, clearly. Clearly.
So let's move on from Fez
Yeah.
2. Let's move on to another great indie game, which Hotline Miami 2. There's going to be a rape scene in Hotline Miami 2.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what people are going to say to this because I just stuck this in the show notes. I was like, who knows? I want to see everyone's opinion on it.
I'll tell you some of the opinions. There's an article linked to, and here's the first comment. Didn't know a second one was on the way, so great news. On the subject, I don't know how rape can cross the line in a game series where shooting 40 cops is fine. Personally, I blame Canada. That's funny. It's a Canada joke. This guy needs to be taken aside and punched in the dick. So, Okay, so there's a rape scene in Hotline Miami 2. Yes, Hotline Miami, I did not like the first one. I thought gameplay-wise it wasn't fun. I didn't have problems with the content
I can
there.
see the appeal, but I hated the art style because not even from an 8-bit standpoint, it looked like it was made in MS Paint.
Yes, it looks... I did not like anything
Like,
about
you can
that.
do pixel art and you can make it look good. That just literally looks like it was made in MS Paint.
People who are like, oh, making the fucking comparison to cops, like, oh, killing cops is way darker, and I can't believe, like, rape... Yeah, killing a cop is killing a cop. Raping someone is fucking scarring them for life. It's like the difference between putting someone to death or letting them rot in prison for, like, decades. That's the comparison I make, and I think rotting in prison is way fucking worse. If you want to get into that argument of it, if you want to get into, like, weighing rape against fucking murder, which let's not, because that's not fun to talk about.
No, one point we'll make a serious news channel.
Yes.
Look forward to that.
It's a dark game. It's a dark game. It's clearly it's clear they're doing this for fucking shock value. It's clear they put this in here for pure fucking shock value, so they would get articles in the news. That's a really fucking dirty, scummy, shitty thing to do. To use rape as a fucking talking point, not as a talking point, like to discuss the merit of it, not the fucking merit, but to discuss, it as like an issue, but just to use it as a way to fucking make people aware of your game is really fucking dirty. You fucks. I mean, the first game had problems with this too. It had a lot of problems with just stuff done for pure shock value for the sake of shock value for the sake of getting into the news. I mean, that was the entire first game, basically. And now this, and people are making the argument now, people are, like, trying to defend it as being, well, you're part of it is that you're shooting a movie here, so it's like, don't even worry about it, bro, because you're not actually raping the person. That's not an excuse. It's not an excuse for it. That's still using rape as a fucking headline. That's still using rape as a fucking thing. That's still glorifying. That's even glorifying it in a way. That's even fucking glorifying it.
I don't know. That was the point I was gonna make. Like, I don't think it because it's like kind of like comes out of nowhere and it's supposed to be part of this like fake movie thing. Like, I think that's the problem. Like I can't hate it for the fact because it's not glorifying it. But at the same time, it's not trying to make a point.
It's not making
it's
a
this
point.
Weird thing of like,
I mean, literally the words "finish her" appear on the screen, and then you start fucking her, and like what? It's part of the movie. So then the director yells "cut," and it's all fine. No, it's not all fine. That's still really dirty and gross, and you've done it, and that just makes it obvious that you've done it for the sake of having it in your game. Yeah, and you can just cut away from it. And then not bring it up again, which hopefully they don't bring it up again in the game. Hopefully there's not an actual rape scene that's going to be later on in the game. From what I watched
of that demo, it kind of, it cuts and it doesn't seem to come up again.
But I mean, who's to say that you're not raping someone later in the game? The point here is that it's really dirty and it's really blatant and transparent. And these are people who are very starved for attention. Their first game was a fucking piece of shit. Got crazy Metacritic reviews. When did that game come out? Like early 2012 or late 2012?
Not long ago.
Not too long ago.
I'm gonna say 2012.
Mid 2012, mid or late 2012. When journalists, we're just coming out of the phase now where journalists are starting to realize that the faux retro indie games are just starting to realize that they can get away with giving them lower scores, where not all of them are created equal, not all of them are perfect. They're finally starting to give real scores to games, but then we'll talk about another game in just a second, which...
Yeah.
But, so there's falling out of love with it. Minecraft, the day of Minecraft is come and gone, and we're gonna, hopefully, in the near future, start getting actual non-super inflated reviews for these games. And maybe they're afraid of that. Maybe they feel like, well, if we want to sell copies, we're gonna have to do a lot of fucking controversial shit. We're gonna have to just keep our name in the news. We gotta make sure everyone who can possibly know about our game knows about our fucking game. Because we can't just rely on the journalists now to give it 90s and hundreds and sell copies based on that. So maybe that's it. That's me just guesstimating here. That's my opinion on that. It's really, I just can't get over how dirty it is and how gross it is.
I gotta admit,
I'm
that's
sorry.
a good point.
I hate to be that guy. I mean, I don't know. No, fuck it. I don't hate to be that guy. Fuck it. People who defend rape in games, who defend sex shit in games, you can fuck off and you can unsubscribe too.
Yeah, well, because I'm gonna make a point. It's more because again, the fact that it doesn't really seem to be there for any real reason, and shock value is kind of bad. But again, a lot of reaction from people online was, and I guess it's bad that I'm formulating some opinion on this, was just straight up don't put rape in a video game. You can't do that. That's never
You
put
could
rape
do
in
it
a
if
video
it's
game.
essential to the story.
Yeah, exactly.
You can fucking put it in there if it's like a fucking essential to your story, if it emotionally affects a character over the course of the game. That's the only way to handle it. That's the only fucking way to handle it.
Yeah, so they're kind of smart about this getting out, because the controversy around it means that anyone who talks about like censorship and free speech, like they're just gonna get more press and like I don't know, kudos for that as well.
I guess, but
So good job there.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
That's the thing. Like they showed it.
They know what they're doing here. It also happens to be a really gross, disgusting fucking thing they're doing. And that's all I want to say about that. That's all I have to fucking say about that. We need to move on. We need to move on to another indie game. Another fucking
Oh, yeah,
indie,
go
the
ahead.
latest indie fucking darling, Gone Home. Which is, can you look up what the current Metacritic score for is for it for me, Tag, please?
It's 150,000 billion.
Oh,
Yes.
that's the official number. They actually upgraded their scale so they can give this game a super inflated fucking score. Gone Home is a game with literally 2 minutes of gameplay. The game can be beaten in 2 minutes if you skip reading the notes. If you just do, if you do all the input necessary in the game, not even speedrunning it, if you just do the necessary moves to win the game, you can beat it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It is not a game. It is not a game in the same way that fucking Dear Esther and Proteus are not games.
So, interesting. So, one of the things I've seen some footage of it, and yeah, like you're just walking around the house and you're supposed to be discovering stuff from notes, and everyone is like, "Oh, check out all this like crazy high res art." Guess what? Other game already did it. Last of Us, like, did it already.
There
Like,
are
all
some
the-
problems.
there's-
There are some problems I have with this game. Let me just say there are some problems I have with this game beyond just the fact that it's an indie game, which should be reason enough. But if you people are going to ask for reasons,
that's a little unfair,
this
though.
game was marketed as a horror game in some respects. Trailers for this game, early press, may have to be some sort of. If you look at it on the surface, if you look at like a trailer of it, you could almost mistake it for a horror game. A lot of people went in with that intention. If they'd done some actual reading on it, they may have known a little better. But people went into that game expecting to be like dark and eerie and spooky. Instead, it's none of that. It is you walk around the house and nothing happens except you read notes. It is literally just reading notes. That's the whole game. And not scary notes, mind you.
At least you're not collecting them.
That's true. 2, the price point, which is $20. This is a game that, even if you're not quote-unquote speed running it, it is a game that it takes most people 2 or 3 hours to complete. There is no replay value because you're just rereading the same notes. There's no randomization element. It's all static. So you will never replay this game. You will never replay this game if you finish it once.
That does seem a little gross.
So the $20 for that experience? No, that is a super inflated fucking price for what is barely a fucking game.
Like
3.
at least like it for what it is, like it seems well made. But I think the bigger discussion here is more just like whenever
Well,
some game comes
number
out that
3.
people think
Point number 3. It's not a well-made game for what it is.
really well like
Let me tell you, I'm going to spoil Gone Home for you. If you don't want to hear Gone Home spoilers, I don't know, tune out for like a few minutes. The twist in Gone Home is that your parents may not love each other anymore and are at a lover's like retreat, and that your sister is in love with another lady who may also be a trans lady, maybe a male to female transsexual, may or may not. They're not super specific about that. And that's it. You discover that and the game ends. That's the ending of the game, is that you read a diary that says these things, you read it in the last thing you read in the game, and then fade to black. That is your ending.
I'm gonna be honest,
There's no
I saw
resolution,
the
you don't see any other characters, there's no cutscene, there's no hoorah at the end. That's it. Cut to credits. It is the most abrupt fucking ending. Look at this. You're building up a fucking story. Your game is your story, and it just ends. What the fuck are you doing? And are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're gonna build up literally all you have in this is your story, are your notes. And you don't have any fucking resolution? That doesn't count as resolution. So from a storytelling perspective, that's fucking fucked. That's super lazy. The game literally exists as notes. So you want to talk about production values, you want to talk about your high-res textures, fine, go ahead. They didn't put a fucking dollar into cutscenes, though.
yeah, that's kind of what I meant by well made, is that like at least like the voice acting seemed competent.
So that's
and,
fine,
like,
whatever. Too bad there's nothing besides that. Too bad the entire game is reading those fucking notes and set dressing. You know what else? No, you know what other fucking game is that? Dear Esther. Dear Esther is the same fucking game. Except instead of reading notes, you're having them narrated to you. Otherwise, same fucking game. And that game sucks shit. And guess what? This one does too, because it's not a fucking game. You fucking dummies. You got suckered in again. Haha, idiots. You paid $20 for a 3-hour experience. You could have posted these fucking words, you could have posted these diaries online. This could have been a browser game. This could be a game where you don't navigate a house, because there's no need to navigate the house. It doesn't need that element. You could have just posted these, like, there are browser games that are literally just like text adventure presentations.
High tensions podcast.
And you can just read these. They could have posted these notes as like images online, and you just go through the pages, and that would have been the whole game, and it would have been the same shit. You could have gotten the same emotional resonance, same effect. The whole 3D navigation thing that's fucking dressing. That's just dressing on top of it. You don't even need the gameplay. If this was a story that needed to be told,
you're kind of constructing every video game ever, though. Now,
if this was a story that needed to be told, it could have been told for free in a browser or for a very nominal charge. But $20 for this is a fucking joke, and the people who put it out should be literally fucking ashamed.
I can't get a word in.
They should be literally fucking ashamed of themselves. The guy from BioShock literally should be fucking ashamed of himself for this. This is disgusting.
We need to put some chill music on and just like sit in a dark room and calm down here.
They're a Portland-based studio.
We'll burn Portland to the ground then.
Trailblazers, yo. Don't know much about.
Look, this is people.
Honestly, no. Stop. Have a lay down. Just like face down, lie on the floor. Just calm down, because I think like me and Paul, we'll just talk about like the topic I think is more important. Is that when there is like a independent video game or so like kind of thing that does something that like the industry considers to be like groundbreaking or special, will suddenly start getting like these huge scores. And call me, like a corporate mainstream sheeple, deeple standing on the steeple with the church and all the people, like whatever you want, but. Like, I think the idea that a game that, by design, is not going to be as well made as, like some AAA games, and there are some shitty AAA games out there, but the idea that it can be better than that is stupid. Like, this game that, like, has the high-res art and all the notes and stuff, but the actual, like, environment is not great looking, and, yeah, like, it's kind of short, is, like, somehow better than a game that might not have a greater story, but has all, the gameplay and the production values and the big teams behind it, is... Yeah, that's like laughable to me almost.
It's not laughable to me anymore because it almost killed games journalism. I cannot trust. I can barely trust Giant Bomb anymore. Patrick Klepp, I give him that a 5 out of 5. And I never agree with Patrick's game opinions anyway to begin with, but like putting that on the site, putting that front and center as like, this is a review that ostensibly the site would agree with, that other people on the site would. The quick look, which makes it look be all fucking roses. And it's like, these are people who I trust. And the same thing happened with Fez, where they gave that game just too high scores. They gave Hotline Miami praise. And it's hard. It's really hard for me to like have any common ground with people anymore. With any common ground with games journalists. And this is the direction we're going, where they feel they need to cater to the indie crowd, where they feel they need to give these high scores, otherwise they'll lose credit or whatever. And it's making it a lot hard. It's making it really hard for me to take anything seriously anymore. I just have to play these games by myself and formulate my own opinions, or I can just look at them and take an educated guess that something like Gone Home is not going to be for me, shouldn't be fit for human consumption, shouldn't cost $20 fucking. And it sucks that this is like the death of the mid-tier game or whatever. What's the word for it? We have AAA games. You have like
AA,
B, like B-tier games or whatever.
X. I'm gonna say X.
Where that has died now. It is now either triple budget, super inflated budget games, AAA games, or indie games, and there's no more middle ground anymore. And that's a fucking shame. Because the AAA games are going to always make decisions that are not in the interest of gamers, that are in the interest of appealing to the broadest possible audience, because they need to make back their money. And that leads to games that are being compromised, where mechanics are no longer the focus and just set pieces are. Which I can appreciate in something like Call of Duty. I don't mind a good set piece every now and again, or even like having them tossed in my face every few minutes. But when that's all your game has, at least Call of Duty has competent shooting mechanics. So you have games that are going in that direction now, where the set piece is the focus in the AAA game. And then you have the indie games, which should ostensibly be, if they wanted to counterbalance that, should be about the gameplay, but instead are also going in the direction of fuck gameplay, let's just be art. And what's left? Where's the middle ground? Where are the games that are just fucking games? Where are the games that are just focused on being games, for the sake of being games, because games should be fun. Games should be something you can play for fun, to unwind. Those are the indie games that get ignored. Those are the indie games or small studio games that are completely ignored. And that's fucking crazy. Is that the games that are most like fucking games are the ones that get no coverage. Meanwhile, the games that try the hardest to not be games are the ones that get all the fucking press coverage in the world. And that's why gaming journalism, I just can't take it seriously. People ask me, what do I follow? And I say Giant Bomb just because I find those guys funny. But their game opinions can be totally fucking whack sometimes. Like, I can't, just point, to a review on there and be like, hey, check out this review, this sick review, this is what I think of this game, just look at this review, this pretty much nails all the points. Because they're always off at some point, and it's really shitty that I have to just,
at a certain
can't trust
point,
reviews anymore.
I think at least, Giant Bomb are very clear about, these reviews aren't supposed to be, buy-in guides. They're very, this is what this person felt of this game, this is how they enjoyed it.
I suppose.
Which at a certain point, I don't know if they need scores anymore.
They don't
either.
But on the other hand,
at a certain point, I didn't get an answer. But at a certain point, I don't think they even need reviews. They probably just need an extra.
Just the segments they have on the
look.
podcast or whatever, or the quick looks should be. But then again, you have quick looks like the Payday 2 quick look, which aren't indicative because they don't know how to they don't fully understand the game enough to navigate it and show it off at its best. So that's the problem you run into with that. The problem I run into is that I can't just trust games journalism anymore. I have to make my decisions on my own. I have to take educated guesses.
That's at least why I like looking at the quick looks, because even if they didn't seem to like it, I can at least see the gameplay.
Take a look at the game. Yes.
Yeah. So in a sense, that works really well for them.
It's still the best we have, but it's sometimes it's not enough.
Brad tried playing Shadow of the Colossus and he couldn't figure out what the climb meter was, but that game I still got it. I knew it was good.
So I get what you're trying to say here, and I hope people get what I'm trying to say. That it's really hard to be a gamer right now. It's hard to have games as a hobby. It's hard for games to be a hobby because.
What's the hardest thing about being a gamer?
Mustache.
Oh.
Let's move on. I've gotten heated enough over this. You're right.
Okay.
I'm in this sort of sour mood today. I don't know if that's showing or not. I don't know.
Someone's a saucy boy today, and I don't know why.
We're gonna skip this bullet point. We're going to skip that last bullet point there.
Well, no, so this is a brief
We're going to do it very briefly then. We're going to do it very briefly.
Because the whole point of this is to not, talk about it.
The bullet point here says stop talking about Anita Twana Eat a Sandwich.
I didn't know what her name was. Yeah. I thought her name was Twanette. I don't know why.
It's Sarkeesian, or as Pawn called her in the opening minutes of the first episode of this podcast, cunt. Which is something that's really annoyed me going back into the archive.
Whatever, that's a podcast moment. You're going to see that. Someone's going to animate that one day.
That is the coldest open we've ever had to anything ever. And you know what? Okay, you make your point, I'll make my point, and then tag if you want to make a point, go ahead.
So I was on a gaming website. Doesn't matter. I was on multiple gaming websites. They posted that she put her third episode out about women versus trope, damsels in distress. 1. It took her 3 videos to fucking talk about that. 2, why are you still talking about her? You either like her because you just like her opinions, or you realise that she's got bad opinions, or is having a bad fight for women in the gaming industry and in video games, and you don't care anymore. But the gaming media keeps trying to shove her back in the face, and then everyone's coming out again and saying yeah, this person's garbage. Stop it. She's not worth paying the attention to. Good or bad press is press. It gets her numbers, it gets her attention, and she doesn't deserve it. I'm sure, I'm sorry, I don't know them. I'm sure there are some people out there who are fighting for equal rights all over the world in all types of medium that you should follow and should support. Doesn't mean that just because this one person's famous for it, that's like saying there's this place around the corner that sells bacon sandwiches, but they always make the bacon raw. But, it's the best bacon sandwich place I can find, so I'm just going to eat that. No!
Yes,
go far. Go on a journey to find the best sandwich you can. It might take you all over the world, but if you get a really good sandwich out of it, then it's worth it. Don't just, follow this fucking trash and don't pay attention to it.
Yes, that is...
Damsels in Distress... At the end of the day, Damsels in Distress is a movie trope that video games copy, therefore is not a video game trope. There you go. I dissolved her entire argument in 5 seconds.
Games need to make changes. Games clearly need to make changes. Everything else needs to make changes too.
Exactly.
Solving it in gaming isn't going to solve it worldwide. It would be nice if we could fix it in gaming. It would be nice if we could fix it sooner than the whole issue, because we still have racism. We still haven't fixed racism.
Yeah.
And so putting more African American or black protagonists in games isn't going to fix that. Isn't going to fix that as a global issue. It's just not. That's not how the world works. Anita Sarkeesian, she's fighting a good fight. She's fighting in the worst way possible. Her opinions on feminism are very dumb. She's the sort of what we like to call man-hating feminist, which, they have justification for that. We've treated them like shit for so long. They should be entitled to treat us like shit, treat us men like garbage. But that's not the sort of feminism I support, for obvious reasons, that I think men and women are equals. I don't think any of us are superior to one another. That should fucking go without saying, but there's still crazy people who don't believe that.
I don't know. I think women are more attractive than men. I'm sorry.
Well, that's where we're going to have to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
But yes, she is not the spokesperson we need for this issue. Her opinions... She's fighting a good fight, but she's fighting in the worst way possible. Someone else needs to replace her. Someone else needs to step into the spotlight and do her job better.
Ironically, the fact that she stepped into the spotlight is part of what makes her so bad.
And Tag, do you have an opinion on this that does not incorporate the word cunt?
I haven't seen anything from her since the first episode, so...
Well, no, I admit, I didn't look at the episode.
I looked at the episodes.
Oh.
It's more fucking damsels in distress. It's the same shit.
Well, no, I knew that's what it was about. That's why I didn't watch it.
She's going into way too much depth about stuff that could be handled. She could have done these 3 videos over the course of one 20-minute video or 10-minute video, but she dragged it out.
Video games probably aren't exactly the best place to make your case for trying to change society as a whole, because video games are...
super immature.
Yeah.
As a medium. It still hasn't evolved to whatever art form people want it to be, and it won't.
And at a certain point, that's not what we want, really. Saints Row is a series that now revels in its, inability to get serious and grow up. And that's what it needs.
What makes it fun.
Yeah.
Games should be games more than anything else.
Yeah.
The plots and stories are a means to an end. They are something that drive you forward, to invest you in a game if it wants to be something that wants to try and immerse you. But then there should still be games that just want to be games, and those should be the games I want to play. And those are the games that I like. So yeah, that's enough about that. Let's move on to the next section, which is going to be Channel News.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call Channel News!
Great. We may do streams in the future, and I'm not going to address the other bullet point. That's Channel News.
I'm very happy with the response about an upcoming LP.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I promised this weekend. So if you come sneaking through the window, you might see me seeing if any of my capture gear still works. So
hopefully it does.
I will look into it. It won't be in HD, I don't think.
Will it be in SD?
I'll try. You know what? I'll try and see if because I want to film, because it's it's Tony Hawk Ride. I want to film the board. Hopefully I can film that in HD, and that will be in HD. So then
the game itself won't be.
The game won't.
Jesus
so if you
Christ.
really wanted to.
Well,
I don't know,
the only thing that
I'll
people care about is the board.
I'll try it out. Yeah, if it's a thing of people really care, people really want to see Tony Hawk Ride in HD because it's such a beautiful game anyway. Then I'll get a HD capture gear. But if it doesn't seem to fucking matter, because I'll be doing cropping, so maybe having the video in 4:3 will actually be useful, so I can stick my feet.
I'll help you with formatting. I'll help you with editing stuff.
But I promise that is coming because I want to do that. Maybe I won't once I've started it, but right now I want to do it.
Yeah, and the other bullet point we have here, Tag, we're gonna hold off on this just for a bit.
All right.
So let's move right on because I want to end this episode already. The YouTube video picks of the week.
YouTube video of the week.
Red, white, and blue.
Well, with that lovely introduction, I'll start this one off. My YouTube pick of the week is Garfield.
All right.
Garfield is a cat. he has an owner named John who just has to deal with these crazy antics of Garfield. He eats the lasagna. He eats the food. You lazy cat.
He's so lazy, and he loves.
He's
his
so
lasagna.
lazy. And he's gonna kick that mutt into orbit.
He is.
Hey, look, guys. I'm just a cat who loves to snooze, so I can relate to this video in many regards. Watch the video, then watch the other videos on this guy's channel. They're pretty good. I like it a lot. That's my video pick of the week. How about yours, Bag? What's your video pick of the week?
Okay,
good
so,
luck. This title's in kanji, so good luck with that.
Okay, hang on. Let me see. I've got a translator. Is that it? That might be it.
It looks a little too long. The text looks a little too long.
Yeah, sore wa shidoi desu. So, I recently got an iPhone, because iPhones are great. My iPhone just spoke Japanese. Can your phone do that?
No, it can't, because my phone is like 10 years old.
Answered that already. Can't even get out of the pocket because it's so fucking big. So I'm a guy who's all about advancement in technology, and this is a video. I believe it's from a news channel, and it's a video showing a brand new iPhone app. It just looks amazing. I want that app. I can't. I can't translate the sentence. I don't know what it says.
That's a Vita.
That's a PS
Whatever.
Vita.
I want to put that on my iPhone anyway, because my phone can speak Japanese already. It should work. Clearly. That channel, I think it's a news channel. Well, no, I think it looks. It wants to say it's a news channel. I think it's probably just a softcore like porn YouTube channel.
It's easy to confuse.
Which more power to it if that's what it wants to be.
Whoa! Oh my! This video got a lot more saucy.
Yeah.
So that's your video pick of the week.
That's a good video.
Yep. Yes,
it's really popular. I don't know why. I get why I like it, but I don't know how other people would be into it so much. I guess a lot of iPhone users and Vita users out there.
Evidently. Tag, what is your video pick of the week?
It's my favorite top 10 reasons why the Beatles suck, which is a amazing video by an amazing person
who's just letting his opinions be known, playing it loud. Man, Rocco, that whole Ouya pissing thing, has anyone else followed up on that? Does anyone else know the full... That's great. That's a great saga.
He pissed on a Ouya?
He bought an Ouya. He pre-ordered the Ouya. He got the Ouya. The Ouya didn't work. He put in tickets to support over the course of months and never got back to him. He's declared an ultimatum on the podcast, said, alright, if by the end of this week I do not get a support ticket responded to, I'm going to put this Ouya in a toilet and piss on it.
Well, he didn't say he was going to go in the toilet, which
he said
that's
he would just piss on an Ouya. He said
I was hoping he was just going to put it on the floor and piss on it, because that would have been way better.
So he pissed on the Ouya because they did not respond. The video got taken down, went back up. He had to make a video saying
can't see pee on the internet.
You can't.
Jeez,
apparently,
man.
That's too. That's gonna
Septic 5 is a-okay.
Septic 5 is a-okay.
As porn will tell you.
Tag's previous video pick of the week is just fine, but not. No. Please don't piss on the Ouya. And so finally, to conclude the saga, he finally got an answer back from Ouya support. A week after, and saying telling him how to potentially debug it or fix it.
No. Do you know what they told him to do? Was to system restore the system, and then if it didn't.
How do you de-piss it?
That's his response. He's like, sorry, this came a little too late. I already pissed on it. It was a lot of fun, and I don't regret it. Was his exact quote.
It was a lot more fun than Crazy Frog.
And so they sent
Amazing
that
Frog or whatever it's called.
The Amazing Frog. And so so we sent that back.
Hey,
to him.
come on over, have some fun with Crazy Frog.
And
all right, let's go make some crazy newts. Are you ready?
Oh my!
So they
I've been
closed the support ticket
into a
after
frog
that.
pond when I was a kid.
Problem solved.
It was scary.
Problem solved. That's how you fix a Ouya, is just piss on it. Because that's the most fun you're going to get out of it. That's the most you're going to get. Or watching the coffee tank, the men drinking coffee, just to allude to them again. Their coverage of the Ouya.
I seriously did not think that thing was going to be any good. I don't know why people did.
I don't know why either. And I think that does it. I think that does it for the podcast. I'm sorry if I was rushing it a bit at the end, but we're about to hit the 2-hour mark.
That's right.
Oh my.
So, we should probably get back to our lives. How does Giant Bomb do this shit for 3 hours every week? That's fucking crazy.
Because that is their lives.
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, hit us up on, if you like today's episode, hit us up on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, or like us on Facebook.
Facebook
for the latest news, world news, gaming news, world gaming
find
news.
our Xfire Xfire account.
Yes,
and
our
us
Xfire
there.
account, our shared Xfire account, and join our chat. Look at the videos we post with no audio, because I still don't think Xfire has the audio when you upload videos from Xfire. That was when they first launched that, back when I was using Xfire, you could post videos with no audio.
See, when I was
Great.
using it, I didn't have a computer that could do that. When I was playing it, I had a computer that couldn't put colors on the Halo armor for some reason. Made multiplayer real hard, but I loved it. Still, Yo-Yo Rust Island, big up if anyone knows what that is.
Not me. Do you have any funny music to close us out with?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I actually don't have a soundbite for the end of the podcast. I didn't know what to record. Oh, hey, Stone Cold. What are you Wait, what are you doing, Stone Cold? Oh no! Oh my God! He did it! Stone Cold Stunner! Stone Cold Stunner! Right at the end of the podcast! I can't believe this! Oh, what the repercussions are this gonna be? You're gonna have to find out next week. Tune into the podcast next week, everybody.